21.
It's time for the Hawkfanatic program, brought to you by Deary Brothers Ford, Hawkeye Title and Settlement, Mike's E-Keys for Cars, Supple's Building and Remodeling, 1-800-800-ROSE, the Midtown Family Restaurants, Harty and Stocker Jewelers, Diamond Dream Sports Academy, Senior Benefits, Premier Automotive, the Oxyoke Inn, Streets Maintenance, Dr. Lance Forbes at Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids, and Big Dog Tech Solutions. Tom Suter is bussing himself home.
Well, he was supposed to be back already, but when he found out there was a new casino coming to Cedar Rapids, he went to go see the groundbreaking. He wanted to be a part of the groundbreaking ceremony. With Suter, it's like, Amy and Molly Bourne is up here. Then right below it, it's casino groundbreakings.
Okay.
Gets misty-eyed. He starts crying a little bit.
I wonder if he heard that right before the game last night. He got them all fired up for the festivities.
I would hope so.
Yeah. So anyway, he is not here today. He will be back tomorrow.
Yes, for the Suterman show.
Right. So we have Tommy Lang sitting in for Mr. Suter and Pat Harty here from Hawkfanatic.com.
Good day.
Good morning.
Good game. I enjoyed watching that game last night. Got a little tricky at the end, but
yeah, it still never felt like they were going to lose.
That's kind of where I was a little worried when the foul started to add up.
Yeah,
when Hannah got 4, and then
I didn't have a lot of faith in Minnesota. God, they were terrible shooters.
Yeah,
I mean, and some of that was Iowa's defense. I mean, but Iowa's just a better team right now than
they didn't turn it over very much in the second half.
Minnesota's 18-5 record was very deceiving. But that's a team that Iowa, if they're going to make the tournament, they needed to win that game because
6-5. The Big Ten going in was Minnesota.
But
so
I think they're going to end up finishing below 500.
Yeah.
Would be my guess. But Iowa's trending in the right direction. They needed to win that because there's some they're probably going to lose. I know the USC game, but they're probably not going to beat UCLA, and they're probably not going to beat Ohio State.
You reminded me of my favorite part of the game was when, I can't think of her name, the color commentator, Shiny or Shimmy or whatever, said, well, Iowa's got a pretty easy schedule the rest of the way. And I thought, isn't UCLA still on there?
And at Ohio State, at Nebraska?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't catch that remark, but that was not factually correct. So,
no.
But no, that was a game they needed to win last night. They're now 6-6.
Yep.
I didn't think they played great, but they still won.
Yeah.
I mean, they still won by 8 points, so more power to them. And now you move on.
Yep.
They've climbed out. They've climbed back to where they're on the right side of the NCAA bubble and trending in the right direction.
Now, and kind of in the middle of the pack, too.
Now, that can change. Yeah. Well, yeah, the Big Ten right now is 3 teams.
There's a lot of 6 and 6, 7
I know
and 5.
Iowa beat USC, but still, you're going to put USC, UCLA, and Ohio State in a group. Then Iowa's around with 7, 8, 9 teams that are all kind of, and then there's 3 or 4 that are really bad at the bottom. Iowa used to be at the bottom of that group of 7 or 8 teams, but now they're in the upper half of that group. But they're still kind of lumped together. So
nice.
Got a phone call. Hello.
Hello. What is with us and our free throws?
That was a problem.
That just happens sometimes.
Yeah, we just, and it wasn't just one person. All of them were hitting 1 out of 2. And
well, we're used to seeing Caitlin shooting most of their free throws.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Now, I will say Hannah Stokey is a much better free throw shooter this year than last year. But no, yeah, it's just part of what happens sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and my brother from Ohio called, and we have a sister that lives up in Minnesota, and he said, she's going to have to go out and run around that house if we lose.
Well,
he's always telling her that if we lose, she has to run around and make snow angels.
Well, they ground out a victory last night.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
So anyway, well, that was pretty good. I thought I thought Minnesota was poor at shooting. Of course, I thought a lot of that was due to the way we were guarding them. But that Pureback, she is really good in the defense, and she came on and hit her free throws.
Yeah,
she did.
Yeah, she's been a good defensive player all year.
Yeah, I saw one of the stats was that was the fewest points that Minnesota had at home this year.
That's right.
Good defense.
Yeah. Yep.
And they showed Monica. She was up there watching.
Yeah, she made the trip.
Her sister plays for Minnesota, doesn't she?
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
So do you think she was rooting for Minnesota because her sister plays for him?
I would.
Well, she could have gone to any game to root for her sister. She chose this game for a reason, I think.
Well, I remember a meeting them. I met Grandma and Aunt back when Monica used to play, and they always wore these shirts that were half Minnesota and half Iowa.
You have to have those custom-made, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks, guys.
Thanks, John.
And tonight we have Iowa Wrestling, Nebraska.
Yep.
7 o'clock, Carver on Big Ten Network, right?
Correct.
Yeah, it'll be Big Ten Network. You think Iowa will have no problems beating them?
I think they'll win decisively.
Yeah. I think it's Penn State and then Iowa, down further, and then down further everybody else.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, didn't they stick Oklahoma State up in there?
They did.
Well,
Yeah, I mean Oklahoma
right?
State. Yeah, they're up there with. They're kind of in that Iowa, but it's clearly Penn State, then Iowa and Oklahoma State, then everybody else. I think.
Okie doke. Well, let's hope we win tonight.
All right.
I think they will.
All right.
Thanks,
Bye.
Karn.
Thanks, Karn.
And I have pretty
I think
much.
it's just a matter of you lost, you got to go down somewhere,
And I have confirmed with Bo Bassett's father that Bo will be calling in around 10 o'clock our time.
Awesome.
So
Did you hound him for that?
no. I mean, actually, he was very.
He's Bassett.
Oh, I get it. I used to have a Basset hound. But Bo, of course, committed to Iowa just a few days ago, widely regarded as the number one recruit in the 26th class, projects anywhere from like 49 to 57 at Iowa. And I've seen so much of him on Flow Wrestling. It's like I know a little bit about him, but it'll be interesting talking to him. I mean, he's kind of like sort of coming in the Spencer Lee fashion. He grew up in Pennsylvania in the face of a dynasty, could have gone there, chose to come to Iowa because he likes Iowa's style and the culture here at Iowa, and he's been a big Spencer Lee fan. So it'll be interesting to see because that's going to be one of the first things I ask him. And so, yeah, looking forward to it. None of us here are by any means wrestling authorities, but that's good. I mean, I think the listeners will enjoy him talking to us.
Yeah, everybody was after it. If you look at the top 5 in the rankings right now, that's basically he was thinking.
Well,
about
he started with a list of 50.
Yeah.
And then gradually narrowed it down, and then it came down to 4: Iowa, Penn State, Okie State, and Virginia Tech. And he obviously chose Iowa. His teammate yesterday chose his high school teammate in Pennsylvania, committed to Okie State yesterday. Iowa was one of his finalists. So, but no, I think this will be a fun interview. I've listened to him. Kid's well-spoken, very, very outgoing. So hopefully he should be easy to talk to, and hopefully, even we can't cause it to go off the rails.
Well, don't give us.
And y'all let you have the suitor responsibility to ask him who he'll fill Kinnick with. And
yeah.
I'm guessing he's going to say either Blind Faith or Humble Pie, would be my guess.
Wouldn't that be great if he did?
Something like that, strawberry alarm clock. Well, my grandpa got me turned on to this.
Uriah Heep.
Yeah, something like that. That would be good. Manassas. Or he could do Tony Basil. He may throw his way off.
Yeah, there you go.
So, but
once Pokemon was out there, I think anything's possible.
Yeah, and we will have to probably remind Bo what Spencer Lee said.
You tell Spencer Lee just won a gold medal, right?
Yes.
At the
Spencer Lee wanted no part of the music question.
No.
I think he thought it was ridiculous and a waste of his time.
It certainly was.
Yeah, Suter still brings it up as the worst answer.
Yeah, although Megan Gustafson,
he brings that one up
band.
too. He holds that against Megan too. We gave her 2 opportunities, and she said no. I'm dying on this hill.
That's pretty great.
The marching band.
Tom will not tolerate bad answers on that question.
Would the marching band fill Kinnick?
No.
Without the football team?
No, because they do a thing in December where they do it at the arena, at like an Extreme Arena. Their extravaganza, where it's just the marching band performing.
And Megan Gustafson, she's in the stands.
Yeah, she's got a he's got a suite.
But yeah, no, I'll look forward to this. Yeah, I think they'll beat Nebraska tonight. Now, I mean, obviously upsets happen, but I just think that Iowa's too strong right now, and these are the matches they've been winning. Other than Penn State, they've been beating everybody decisively. That shows you the gap.
Yeah.
I mean, the gap between the Penn State, the really good ones, and then there's just a lot of teams that are kind of mediocre.
Yeah, and it was interesting because Tom Brands was asked about that earlier, about do you still bring up Penn State as motivation? He said, of course I do. And then you asked Fran McCaffrey yesterday where you would use a Wisconsin game as motivation, and he was like, yeah, we'll bring it up all the time.
We'll bring it up, but I asked him also, we asked him, the bulletin, I wrote more about the bulletin board stuff, and I knew that was going to be, he thinks bulletin board motivation is stupid. I mean, he goes, I am the most anti. The players are still going to take to heed what Kamara.
Right.
Fran says he couldn't care less. I asked him, do you think your players care? And he's like, I don't know. You'd have to ask them. Then he broke out in laughter. It was pretty funny.
That's about the line that they don't play defense, right?
Yeah, they don't. We knew they didn't want to play defense, so we took advantage of it. Yeah, and the players it struck a nerve, but Fran couldn't care less. But both can happen.
Yeah.
Fran doesn't care if Fran's probably thinking, okay, if that motivates. But Fran's argument is they should be motivated regardless. You shouldn't need bulletin board material to play a team that just beats your ass up there.
That should be the bulletin board material.
Yeah, that's just losing is how Fran's like, they should always play like that. But he goes, now that we have bulletin board, does that mean they're going to play really, really, really hard? Then he started laughing again. He was making himself laugh. It was kind of funny. It was kind of a lighter moment.
Yeah.
Don't get a lot of those with Fran.
You really, especially this season.
Oh, no, now Lance is saying it's going to be a close duel tonight.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
Lance.
and he knows slightly more about wrestling than I'm kidding. He knows a lot more than I do, and he's very objective. He loves the Hawks. Isn't
he inner circle of the Hawks?
Well, I didn't realize. It looks like, is Nebraska ranked? What is Nebraska
They're
ranked?
like 6 or 7, I think.
Okay, but sometimes that's misleading.
Well,
I mean, I've seen Iowa wrestle like a fourth and just dismantle them. So, but no, he says let me see. He says could have some close 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 5 matches. He said could be close. So
okay,
yeah, and Nebraska's they're a very respectable wrestling program. So we'll see. I do think Iowa's going to win. They're at home, but we'll see. Should be a good crowd. Weather's not going to be a factor, right?
No. It doesn't snow till tomorrow now, and it's only going to be a light snow, less than an inch,
just enough to be irritating as you're driving around.
Under you guys under the desk or not?
No, he's not even here tomorrow.
No,
who's here tomorrow?
Me and Suter.
Oh,
Suter's back tomorrow, and I like we did last week. I'll just run the board for Tom Heath, because Tom Heath will run the board for the morning part where I do the news. Then at 9:00, I'll take over there like we did last week. Because I know Tom Heath doesn't watch sports. He doesn't know much about sports. I'm like, I'll stick around an extra hour.
Who knows more about sports between him and Molly?
I think Molly, because at least
say Molly.
Yeah, because she grew up at Suter.
Yeah,
I was going to say I screw up the times with this wrestler. I was like envisioning him calling in during the Molly Suter show. Could you imagine?
Molly's got a football game. She went to a football game this year. Like, was it Wisconsin or something?
She goes to about at least one.
And then she tailgates a couple times.
Yeah,
did she go to a game when it was cold? Wasn't it?
Was
cold?
that the cold one?
It was.
That was the cold one, wasn't it?
Yeah. She went and tailgated and probably got just liquored up. And then
so I wonder, did Suter have any travel issues with the ice like the team did?
That would be the first question I was asked tomorrow. Who got there first, the team or the bus?
Well, I figured he would have been. Was he not Facebook and stuff?
He Facebook a photo from the arena, and that's about it.
Oh, nothing about their trip? Okay.
Yeah.
Because, the team had a major odyssey to get up there.
I actually screen capped the itinerary that was posted on Twitter.
Yeah, their SID. Great. The team didn't arrive until yesterday afternoon, yesterday afternoon.
About 12:30.
Yeah, normally they like to get there the night before a game.
If we need to fill time, I could read it, but it's pretty long.
No, if you want to read it, go ahead.
Yeah. 4:00 bus departure. 5:30 shut doors, head to de-ice. 5:45 attempt to take off. 5:47 abort takeoff halfway down runway.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Well, that's a line from a Don Henley song.
I don't think I've ever had it where they were actually starting to move.
Yeah.
And then stop. I've never had that.
That would have been kind of frightening, I think.
I've had a ton of plane flights, but I've never had that happen.
6:00 taxi to FBO runway to icy.
So they've already been on the plane for 2 hours taxiing.
Yes. 6:10 hang out in FBO. What would FBO be? Probably FBO. Inside the airport. 7:45 board plane again. 8 engine doesn't start and wheels are frozen. 9 pilot says we can't go. 9:30 de-ice wheels and props on plane. 9:45 tow plane to proper de-icing pad. 10 de-ice and attempt to find airport that will take us. 10:30 continue to de-ice and wait for clearance. 11 o'clock no airport will take us. Pilot deems it unsafe to fly. Midnight bus picks up team from CID. 12:10 railroad train on tracks hardly moving. Oh, the bus hit a railroad hit a train. They had to wait at a train track. 12:30 arrive at Hotel Kirkwood, eat dinner. 1 go to bed. 9:30 the next morning arrive at CID. That's the airport. What else here? 10:45 de-ice for the third time. 11:35 flight in Minneapolis. 12:34 land in Minneapolis. Whew.
And it had no impact on how they played.
No, not at all.
It really didn't.
Hello.
FBO is fixed-based operator.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Sounds like a band from the late 60s, early 70s.
They said they had Casey's last night. I was like, I know the Casey's around the airport. God help them.
Yeah, but what can they do to the pizza?
I know. Well,
and I assume they probably had Casey's Pizza.
Yeah, that's what I assumed. They ordered a pizza or something from Casey's, which probably was fine.
Which sounds really good right now.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of those Casey's on 33rd Avenue. I would not know.
Go to the one on Scott and Court.
boy, the one in Hills is just like all liquor up front now too.
Well, the one in Scott, that's right. When you walk in the one on Scott, it's just liquor right there.
Yeah.
But then just sometimes some of the, well, never mind.
And for some reason, people park at the Hills one diagonally, and I don't understand why. There's no lines, and people just park diagonally there.
Well, very nice.
Didn't expect to touch on the Hills Casey's today.
I
but
did
here
did not see that on the bingo card this morning. No, not at all.
What else we got going on this weekend? I know softball starts today.
Let me look.
Softball
is in Florida today and tomorrow and Sunday.
They have 5 games over 3 days.
And they play some ranked teams, too. They're going right into the buzzsaw.
They're going to learn a little bit about themselves right away.
I think Marshall ranked like 15, didn't they say? And
well, who else? Is it Mrs.?
Okay, Tennessee's ranked.
Yeah.
Kennesaw State is not. That's the first team they play. Tomorrow, Texas Tech is ranked. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, no, that's a tough schedule.
And then their last game is Missouri, and I think they're ranked on Sunday.
So, yeah, no, it's going to be – I mean, they better be ready.
Interim coach, we don't know what to expect.
One of their best players still out with an injury.
Yeah.
I mean, their head coach is out for the year for health. They're coming off a very disappointing. It's tough circumstances. It'll be interesting to see. Hopefully they can rebound, man. I hate seeing teams struggle the way they did last year and the way, the volleyball made some improvement this year. They went from winning nothing to something this year.
Yeah, they had a few good
They had a few wins. There is some progress you can see there. It's just not easy trying to win in the best conference in the country.
Yeah, very much so. And what was the audio? What the player was that said that he's doing the very best job that he can given the circumstances.
Oh, Su Jin Yi, yeah. Or I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
The interim coach.
I think. Oh, well, yeah. Are you talking about volleyball or what?
Softball.
Yeah, and it's media day. That's what they are going to say. It'll come out. We'll come out. We'll see. I mean, rarely do you go to media. Well, our coach sucks. I mean, I get the media day thing. This is going to be. You got to show it. It's just you got to. Most fans with softball are going to be like, we'll see. We'll just kind of have to wait and see. Right now, there's not a lot of reason to be optimistic.
No.
If you look at it objectively, and I'm not trying to be nasty or a hater, but there just isn't. It's going to be a tough hill to climb, so we'll see.
Yeah, nothing's really changed since last year. I mean, a few players have probably left, probably a few freshmen coming in, but
that's just the way it works. But as far as I've covered so many media days to where a lot of what is said at media day, I just kind of goes in.
I don't think we're going to be very good this year.
That would be hilarious. Or like a head coach, man, I can't believe this recruiting class we have.
They are overwhelmed.
This is Sucksville.
You guys that bought season tickets this year are suckers.
This is one of the worst recruiting classes we've ever assembled. These guys are cowards. I can't believe we signed
We didn't
them.
get the people we wanted.
But we're settling. This class is all about settling. You imagine if a coach did that?
That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be good.
Popovich would do it.
Yeah.
Probably say something.
I loved his interviews with. I don't know why the media insists on talking to coaches during games. I hate it in all sports. Do you like it?
Not really.
I only like
don't get anything out of
Popovich's
it.
because I watched him be mean to people, but I felt bad. I got enjoyment out of watching media people be uncomfortable with him because he was mean to them.
Yeah.
He got to the point where he was nice in a mean way at the end.
Yeah.
Because he hated those things. I remember one time he'd be like, "Why are we doing this? What am I going to? This is the." When they first started doing them, he fought it. Then I think he figured, "All right, we'll compromise. I'm still going to dismiss him and be mean to him, but in a nice way."
Yeah.
It got better, And I would listen, but I've just never understood. Like, why do we have to hear from the college football coach at halftime going off the field?
What do you get out of it that you go, oh, wow?
The Kirk Ferentz interviews, no offense to Kirk, he says nothing at halftime.
It's the same cliche.
And I don't expect him to say
Every
anything.
coach does that.
I don't expect Kirk to say anything. We got another half to go, blah, blah, blah.
We got some improvements we need to make.
Yeah, it's
it's the same stuff.
And when they interview players like in the WNBA, I don't need to hear about a WNBA player during a timeout, do you?
No.
But some people must like it because they do it.
It's a timeout. You should be
The
talking to the
WNBA
coach.
loves talking to players like during timeouts, and it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Well, you're sharing my view.
I do like when they WNBA, you get the games on the app where they just use the stadium feed and they're doing like the contests on the television.
Oh, yeah.
I like
How about
that.
Major League Baseball talking to him while they're playing?
Yes.
That's so bizarre that I
ESPN
almost
does that, yeah, Sunday night.
that's so creepy and intrusive that I almost don't mind that. They had one where they were talking to the left fielder for the Astros. All of a sudden, there's a freaking double just raced down the line, and he's chasing it while talking to those clowns. He said something like, "Guys, I'm busy," and then he went and made the play and then started talking to him again.
I do like the ones where they have the one of the infielders mic'd up and they start talking to the guy on base.
Yeah.
He like interviews
Yeah,
the guy
I
from
mean-
the other team while they're at first base.
Some of that stuff is so unique to where
Yeah.
it does. I don't mind. I just don't need to hear from coaches all the time.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. They've got their stick now, and There's just so much. We have to know everything at that moment. How's the coach feeling at halftime? We can't wait until after the game. How's the coach feeling at the end of the first quarter? How's the coach feeling going into kickoff? It's nonstop. You watch this Super Bowl. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, when does the coverage start on Sunday?
I believe it starts actually tomorrow at like 2 a.m.
God, it's like the Kentucky. It's like the Kentucky Derby.
It takes forever. Yeah, you're right. No, I think Major League Baseball started doing that when they do the World Series films back in the day when they do the highlights of the series. They would mic up a guy, either a coach or a first base coach or something.
If I was a player, I wouldn't want to have a mic on me while I'm out there. The game is hard enough to play to begin with.
And the spring training games, that's I like it when they interview the manager. They got him in for a half an inning. And
could you imagine if they would have had the mic on Doc Ellis when he pitched a no-hitter on acid?
Man.
Remember that?
That would have been great. Which ball do I throw?
That would have been the greatest radio of all time if they would have mic'd him up. He pitched a no-hitter on acid.
On acid, yeah.
Yes.
On acid. Not on weed or a little bit of beer. On acid.
We're talking about acid.
He was on acid.
He did it on. That's maybe the greatest sports achievement. That and Secretariat of the Belmont Steak are the two greatest sports achievements of all time.
Yeah.
You can make an argument for that. I mean, it's just incredible.
It's a good endorsement for acid.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, as far as the women last night, though, it just never felt like they were going to lose.
That's kind of where, that's exactly.
I haven't felt that way about them in a while. With Caitlin, I felt that way almost all the time.
Right.
South Carolina, Illinois, those ones, but almost all the time. But last night, I'm like, no, they're better in this team.
I was just had a little trepidation right when, like we said, when the foul started happening, and it looked like it was going to slip away, but it went away very quickly.
Well, clearly the refs were against Iowa, but they overcame that. Another case of the refs being against Iowa, but they found a way to overcome that, and that's even more impressive. Now, in fairness, Minnesota was out their best player. I mean, their leading scorer.
Right.
But that happens. That happens.
I think part of it, too, was that even when the game got tied up, they didn't look like they were shaken.
No.
They didn't look like they were, losing it a little bit.
I think Aaliyah Guyton helps that, too. She's way more comfortable and established now. Her coming off the bench, she stabilizes and what have you. They didn't have that earlier in the year. She's a lot more comfortable now, so I think that helps. And Addie O'Grady continues to make key baskets for them. And she's playing well, and that's what you need. And then Alfalter gets 14 rebounds, 6 foot tall. She's an incredible rebounder. And as you're seeing, and I love the freshmen, don't get me wrong, but the veterans are what's going to carry this team. Jan Jensen knew that the whole time when there were people play the freshmen, bench these veterans. Jan's just like, no, just stay the course, and more good for her.
And I know Kylie Feuerbach reminds me of Gabby a little bit. She's always tenacious on defense, and occasionally she'll have a breakout game on offense.
And she might even be a little more versatile on defense because she's a little longer and taller. I think she can guard even more positions. But no, she is kind of their Gabby this year. Sid's being what Sid was last year. Of course, they don't have a Caitlin, but if you get enough of Lucy Olson, and what have you, they can. Like I said, they're figuring it out now. They're figuring it out to where they at least look like an NCAA tournament team now. Do I think they're going to make the Final Four? No. But I think, and I said from the beginning. They had a 10
seed, I think, going into last night.
And I said from the beginning, I'm not changing. If Jan gets this team into the tournament, I don't care what seed they are, that's a good first year.
Oh, my God, yes.
That's where I'm at. She doesn't need to make a deep run. She doesn't need to win the conference. She just needs to get them in the NCAA tournament. And to me, that is job well done.
I don't know if you saw this on Twitter. People were circulating, were mad about this. Somebody had circulated a picture of the Golden Gopher mascot with a whiteboard, and it just said, "Stulky is stinky."
Oh, yeah.
And people were mad because the mascot singled out like one player.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And it really, I didn't see it, but that's really not that clever. It's kind of stupid.
No, it's kind of stupid.
It's a play on her name, I guess.
Yeah,
I was kind of stupid.
I was remembering the time that what was it, Notre Dame had David Rivers, and they were playing Duke, and the Duke Blue Devil had like the afro. Remember that? Yeah, mascots have targeted players before. It's happened.
Oh, it happens, yeah.
And of course, that was a controversial one because the afro, people brought race into it and everything. But
I like it when the mascots fight.
Yes.
There's been some real fights between mascots.
Yeah, I've seen them. They're great.
Mascots creep me out, though. I've never, like when Herky comes up around Media Row, I'm just like, God, leave me alone.
Some are creepier than others.
Don't come by me.
I don't have a problem with Herky, but like Purdue Pete is creepy. He's got those dead eyes.
How about the U.S. or the Michigan State Spartan?
Yeah.
I've just thought mascots, clowns, and mimes, they're all creepy to me. They've all kind of given me the yibs.
Well, and they're sitting in those hot uniforms and the whole game just
although late in football season, that's probably not bad.
Yeah, probably.
Early in football season, it's probably not great.
No, I'm sure it's miserable then. So, But I knew a couple people that were Herkies for a couple of their years. I mean, it's a really serious enterprise. I mean, people apply for it.
I just feel bad that the captain's not here to tell a story about being Mr. Shucks. That he tells every time mascots come up.
He would have brought that up.
He would have found.
Yeah.
When the Quad Cities got their hockey team, they introduced their mascot. He rappelled from the ceiling on a rope. They lowered him down. He took one step on the ice and just almost knocked himself out. He was on the ice for a good 2 minutes before he got up on his feet. Not an auspicious beginning.
What else we got going on today?
I'm just updating my Twitter just to see if there's any break.
We talked about the wrestling tonight.
Like I said, Monday and Friday seem to be.
Yeah, that's fine. Didn't we have something that came? Oh, the George Kittle thing. He got honored with the USAA.
Yeah, that was good.
Salute to Service Award.
Yeah,
last
George
night.
does a lot of good stuff away from.
I didn't get to watch
the
the NFL stuff because I was watching the game.
Yeah, no, he does a lot of good stuff away from the game, and I noticed Travis Kelce was being asked about Caitlin Clark because Travis Kelce's, Taylor Swift and Caitlin are now friends now, and it was interesting listening to what he said. But I'm sitting there thinking, God, they're talking about Caitlin Clark at the end. I mean,
yeah,
it's just so bizarre.
It really is.
It's just where she is now. I mean, she's probably a bigger name than Travis Kelce right now.
Yeah, I would think so.
I mean, other than maybe LeBron, I'm trying to think of in professional sports right now, in any sport. I mean, is she bigger than Shohei Ohtani?
I would think so.
It helps that she speaks English. He doesn't really speak.
He's on the West Coast. The games are late,
and he doesn't speak English, does he? At all?
I don't think.
He had the interpreter who got busted and thrown in prison.
Yeah,
so
he's speaking English now. I'm not going to say what
he
he's
get like 4 years or something.
5.
He
got 57 months, so almost 5.
Okay.
But didn't he steal like millions from him?
And he's got to pay $17 million back, and they were talking about sending him back to Japan.
And that one, if you come over and do that, get out of here.
Yeah, be gone.
Yeah, I'm all for if you come over here and break the law like that, goodbye.
No, I remember when they were interviewing Caitlin on Sunday, and I may go to the Super Bowl. I don't know. I may.
Yeah,
I may
the interview that never ended.
Yeah,
that just wouldn't end.
I may be there, but I also may be sitting on my couch and with a bowl of popcorn watching it.
But that interview just kept going.
Oh, they just wouldn't let her go.
And I'm like, wow, they're going to do this for the entire. I agreed with Shooter on that. It was too long, but I mean that probably wasn't Jason Benetti and the other person's decision. It was probably the producer. Hey, we're going to talk to.
We got Caitlin Clark. Let's keep her on as long as possible.
You could tell he had a bunch of questions ready too. That was not spontaneous.
Yeah. Hello.
Howdy, Pat.
Yeah.
Hey, how about them Iowa women last night?
Hey, how about them? You know what they say about those Iowa women.
Yeah, you know about the Longboat Key women.
Well, not anymore. I don't.
I know. Hey, who are you picking for the Super Bowl?
I haven't. I'm going to just say Kansas City just because I want to see history. I don't really care, but it would be neat to see a team win 3 in a row. I like Andy Reid. I think Andy Reid seems like a pretty good guy.
I am rooting for Cooper DeJean and the Amazing Whites, which I think is the best name for any NFL group ever.
Yeah. Now, does Kansas City have a Hawkeye on the roster?
No, I don't think they do.
No,
not right
I guess maybe I should be. But yeah, I mean, I don't care really who wins. I hope Cooper has a great game. I think he's been great this year. So
you betcha.
Yeah.
Who do you got, Paul?
Oh, not much else.
You got the over? You got the under?
No.
It's hotter than hell down here.
Oh, that's right. You're in Florida.
Oh, poor baby. Paul. Poor Paul.
Oh, Christ, it's 50 up there, isn't it?
No.
Wind chill's 10 above right now, Paul.
Yeah, it's actually quite cold.
Yes. We've dumbfounded them.
Wait.
Well, I'm not at a computer, so I thought I'd just listen to what you guys.
No, I love those.
Oh, he's on.
I've always told these guys I love the awkward silent moment.
He's on the delay. He's on the computer, so he's got a delay.
No, he doesn't have a computer. He's just listening to us.
Oh, okay. All
he
right.
wants us to leave the phone line open so he can hear the rest of it.
I see.
Oh, like the old days.
I wish we could help you out, Paul. Wish we could help you out, but we can't leave you on the line for 20 minutes. But hey, it was good talking to you. Are you enjoying?
Well, tell Steve you said hi.
Enjoying your time off?
That sounds like Hunter.
It is Hunter.
It is Hunter.
Hey,
Hey.
Spring is coming.
Yep.
Spring, yeah, baseball.
It comes right after the winter.
Softball starts today.
Yeah,
you can
softball.
drive
Down
out-
in Florida. Why don't you go?
Go see some Iowa
Why don't you go see some Iowa softball? Why don't you go support them?
Drive over to Clearwater. They're playing 5 games this week.
How far do you
I'm
live from
questioning your
Clearwater?
fanhood.
How far do you live from Clearwater?
About 45 minutes.
Okay,
There
here
you
you
go.
go. Quit whining about the heat and go support the Hawks.
The women are playing today, you say?
Yeah,
right.
softball.
3 o'clock, and then there's one, I think it's
And
6
they
o'clock?
need your help. They're coming off a bad season. Their head coach is dealing with
They
health
said
issues.
Paul wasn't in enough games. That was at the news
You
conference.
need to be there to support the women today.
Well, I know the baseball team,
Not till next week.
Tommy
When they
said-
come down there, we expect you
Yeah,
to
the
support them
14th.
too.
Yeah.
Hawks need your help, Paul.
Yeah, they'll be in Tampa on a week from today.
Yeah, Tampa. You can do both. They really need your help.
no, the wrestlers need our help.
Well, they're up here. I mean, you can't
Yeah,
help
and
them.
they've only got one
You're not
loss.
gonna catch them
It's
playing.
the
Yeah,
number one
in
team.
fairness, they only have one loss.
It's the number one
I
team.
mean, they're ranked third.
I'll tell you, Penn State took them to school.
Yep. But you're moving the goalposts on us. What
Yeah.
about the women's the softball team? Are you going to be there to support them today?
Hell no, I'm chilling.
Well, they got 2 games tomorrow, and they got a game on Sunday. So if you get out and about, go check them out.
Yeah, Yep.
Clearwater, you say?
That's right.
Clearwater, not far from you at all.
45 minutes.
Easy drive.
what I heard.
Air conditioning on your car. You won't feel the heat. Go there and love yourself some Hawkeye softball.
Nah,
We lost Paul. That heat got to the
Are
cell
we
phone.
done?
I think so.
So do we hang up on him, or if he
Well,
doesn't hang up, is he still on? Because we're getting close to taking a break, and then eventually, Bo's
I
going to
thought
call.
that.
What's up, Paul?
I thought you were getting ready for your break.
Yeah, we're going to be taking a break here shortly, and then we got an Iowa wrestling recruit coming on at 10 o'clock. So,
Ooh, from where?
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, he said he wanted to come to Iowa because Paul was disappointed in the team and he needed to help out.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
he doesn't appreciate your disrespect.
You guys.
All right, Paul. Well, you stay
Yeah,
in,
we
enjoy
do.
that air conditioning, but remember, softball this weekend. We expect a full report on Monday
Yeah, give us a call on Monday to tell us how well they did.
Yes.
with video.
I'll be over in Okeechobee catching crappies. There's no phone contact, and I love that.
All right.
All right,
Suter will
Paul.
be back tomorrow.
All right.
Take care. All right, well, why don't we take a break?
All right.
We're listening to Hawkfanatic on the Mighty 1630 KCJJ.
Your life is always changing, and a lot of things can affect how and what you save. So a good retirement plan changes with your life. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. So start a conversation today. Wells Fargo Advisors. Together, we'll go far. For information locally, call 338-3799 or 866-217-2369 or stop by 501 12th Avenue, Suite 201, Coralville. Wells Fargo Advisors, LLC, member SIPC.
Don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's eKeys for Cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's eKeys for Cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's eKeys for Cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
Hello, this is Bill Leixnering from the Oxyoke Inn inviting you to a place where you have your choice of 4 portion sizes. And when you order our famous family style, you can take your leftovers home. To a place where you can make reservations online at oxyokeinn.com or by calling and speaking to a person at the Oxyoke. A place where, compared to a hotel, our private banquet rooms are very affordable. But most important, our fresh food is prepared to order, and our servers have a passion for serving you. At the Oxyoke, we've been practicing since 1940, serving daily with a brunch buffet on Sundays. Oxyoke Inn, in the heart of Amana, where you'll always leave happy.
You take great care to maintaining your home or business inside and out. But maybe, just maybe, there's something missing. Something that makes your home stand out among the others in your neighborhood. Something that makes your business pop and increases traffic. Something that you can change and customize at your command. Well, there's a solution, and that's Illuminlight's permanent outdoor lighting from Big Dog Tech. Illuminlights provides illumination for every occasion. Holiday lighting, accent lights, security, and of course lighting for all your favorite sports. The Illuminlights app lets you create your own patterns with color, motion, brightness, and static control over every individual light, or use Big Dog's presets to transform your home or business. The professionally installed track system makes Illuminlight's LEDs virtually disappear until you turn them on. Rated at 50,000 hours, you'll enjoy stress-free convenience for years to come. For more information about Illuminlight's permanent outdoor lighting, go to BigDogTEK.net or give them a call at 319-395-0800. That's 319-395-0800.
Diamond Dream Sports Academy, 20,000 square foot indoor facility, holds 8 batting cages, space for infield work, space for throwing and pitching and all your arm care needs. Offers private instruction, group lessons, camps and clinics, leagues, memberships. Rentals available at Diamond Dreams is open to the public.
Our top level instructors include former professional, college, and Olympic athletes. Our coaches will help these athletes achieve their full athletic potential, develop a strong work ethic, and a solid base to build. The last thing you want to do is look back and wish you had worked or played harder.
Locally owned and established in 2005, Diamond Dreams is Eastern Iowa's premier training facility. Located at 2905 Stoner Court, North Liberty. Call today and reserve your time. 319-665-2173. 319-665-2173.
GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit Supples.net or call them today at 319-337-2246.
Once upon a time in the land of the Hawkeyes, a business grew. A business that would become synonymous with real estate. Hi, I'm Steve Anderson of Hawkeye Title and Settlement. When you're buying or selling your home, you'll need title and settlement services. Consider the Hawkeye Title and Settlement team. Give us a call at 351-8600. Hawkeye Title and Settlement, the team you love, the people you trust.
Come for the ambiance and stay for an ice-cold or warm beverage at the Greenhouse in Iowa City. The Greenhouse is a plant-themed bar and lounge that offers a wide variety of craft beers, local ciders, and kombucha. You can also order espresso drinks and seasonal craft cocktails with a botanical twist. The Greenhouse gift cards are perfect for family, friends, and coworkers who enjoy cozy spaces and tasty drinks. Gift cards can be purchased in-house at 505 East Washington Street or on their website, greenhouseic.com. Open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. The Greenhouse Bar and Lounge. Plants, friends, and spirits.
1-800-800-ROSE. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada from anywhere in the country. 1-800-800-ROSE. It's so easy. Just remember one number. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist. 1-800-800-ROSE. Remember.
This is Leah Pasha, and I've been saying, hit a deer, call Premier for years. But it's time for something new. It's still where you need to go for deer divots and door dings, as well as damaged dashboards. That's what my dad Nathan's driving at and dreams about. Why not say, when your car is dinged, be a deer and call Premier? I think Dad's going to love that. Premier Automotive, North Liberty's premier auto body repair shop.
Be a deer and call Premier Auto Body in North Liberty.
KCJJ Weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
A mix of clouds and sunshine today. We'll get to around 34 for a high this afternoon. The wind out of the north switching to the east at 5 to 10. That's it for the wind here today. Tonight, mostly cloudy, 25. Tomorrow, off and on light snow. It won't be much, just a dusting with a high in the low 30s. By Sunday, partly to mostly cloudy. with a high right around 28. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Currently, it's 21.
And we are back with Hawkfanatic. At 9:45, we got Bo Bassett, recruit for Iowa Wrestling, hopefully on the phone here in about 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, we had somebody call while you were in the restroom. I took the call. He wanted to go on the air to ask a question. He had an Iowa football question.
Yeah.
And he said he'd call back, and I don't know when he's going to call back. But
Okay.
while we're talking about Iowa football, because he wanted to talk about it, saw that Iowa made an announcement that they had signed defensive back Jacob Wallace and wide receiver Dylan Stecker, which, do they usually post that on their official website?
Well, yeah, that was the only thing that's happened on. We had already written about.
Okay.
One was a preferred walk-on, and then we had already, I believe he was, and then we had already done a story about 3 days earlier about the defensive back from Maryland signing. So we didn't do anything more on it because, but yeah, that was basically all the news that happened on the old traditional National Signing Day. That shows you how different things are now. National Signing Day basically doesn't mean anything anymore.
Hello.
Hello, guys. I'm back.
All right, this is the guy who called me during the break.
Hey, I got a general college football question. What percentage of schools, if any, do you think are focusing more on transfer portal than initial recruiting?
When you say focus more just for roster building for that next year, I would say now at least 50%, maybe probably more.
Yeah, for that year, and just as a basic strategy going forward.
I would say at least 50% now.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But it's also kind of how it's kind of a great like Ohio State still does great recruiting and still has a lot of 4 and 5 stars that move up the ranks there. But every year they're going to sprinkle in 4 or 5 key portal guys most likely. So what category would you put that in? Would you put that in more to the portal or more to recruiting? I think it's a little of both for a lot of schools.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'd still put that in more to the recruiting and developmental.
Yeah, I mean, they're still. I mean, all these programs are still signing 20 to 25 players every signing cycle, so that's never going to change. But what has changed is the quarterbacks are being impacted greatly because unless you're just a freak 5-star, more times than not, most of these quarterbacks coming out of high school are going to probably wait for a portal guy to play for a year or two. That's just because I would say quarterbacking. I would say almost 75% at least are portal over recruiting. I mean, look at Iowa. I mean, Iowa's going to the portal to get their next quarterback for the time being, but they're also still recruiting. But no, quarterback, I would say it's way more toward the portal.
I'm thinking of teams like, of what Indiana did last year, successfully, or Nebraska, where they're bringing in, 20, 30 transfer portal guys.
Yeah, that's extreme. I don't think that that's going on, but I don't think.
Isn't that what Deion Sanders did when he got to Colorado?
Yeah, I don't think that we're at 50% with that. Now, Indiana's situation was unique. A bunch of those players came with the coach in the portal from James Madison. That was a very unique situation.
Yeah, good players, too.
Oh, very good players. Yeah, I mean, it just shows you that it was kind of like what Drake's doing in men's basketball. He brought 4 of his starters from Division II, Southeast Missouri State, and Drake right now is the cream of the Missouri Valley. They're having a great year.
Anyway, last question, or is ask Suter how the bus ride was up yesterday.
He'll be talking about that tomorrow morning.
I thought he maybe would call us and just check in, but maybe not.
Man, because the wind yesterday driving up 35 was just insane, the crosswind.
Really?
I bet that bus was kind of rocking a little bit. Not in a good way.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks a lot.
All right.
Thanks. We'll have to ask about the beer situation.
I'm trying to imagine that bus rocking in a bad way.
Yeah.
Bunch of seniors.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Was that what it was? A bunch of seniors?
I don't know. Well,
do you think they had beer on the way up?
I'll bet you they did.
They probably did.
It's an ad for Cialis.
Yeah.
Was it Destination something? I can't remember what the name of the bus company was. But yeah,
we were joking off the air earlier that maybe they were going to drink back on the way down. Coming back from Minneapolis, they're drinking on the way down here in the middle of the day.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good because they're only going to Cedar. They're
going to Cedar Rapids to drop them off. They got to drive back from there.
Yep. Hello.
Hey guys, couple questions for Pat. Do you happen to know right off what DeVries' buyout is at West Virginia?
Yeah, someone told me the other day. I thought it was somewhere between like 7 and 9 million, something like that. Somewhere around there. Don't quote me on that, but I did have a conversation with somebody that actually had looked it up, and I thought that's somewhere where they said it was. It was a little less than I thought. Are you looking it up, Tommy?
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it.
But yeah, maybe he'll have something different. But that's what I thought, which isn't huge by any means. But you've got to pay that along with paying him. Iowa, you're looking at You're looking at a lot of money.
According to Google, if Darian DeVries leaves West Virginia for another job, he would owe West Virginia 37.5% of his remaining salary as a buyout.
Okay,
so it's tied to his whatever. He's
I think that would be about right. Yeah, that would come about right.
And if they fire him, they would owe him 75%.
I think this person had done that math, and that's kind of the figure they came up with. But you got to also remember, guys, Iowa still owes how much of that loan from COVID? The athletic department. Is it that $50 million? Don't they still owe like $49 million of that?
I have no idea.
I know, and I'm not sure how that is impacting things, but I would think it would probably have some impact on how much money they can spend.
I thought they were talking about aggressively increasing the payments that were.
Well, but they haven't done it yet, I don't think.
I don't know for sure.
Because the last story I heard about that was, I'm like, wow, they still owe that much. I mean, COVID's 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And speaking of Ben McCollum, I'm really impressed with the job he's doing at Drake.
Me too.
And he's also being mentioned, I didn't know if you knew this, with the Indiana job.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's not going to be, unfortunately, as a Drake grad, I love Drake, he's not going to be there long. It's a stepping stone job.
Boy, it'd be nice if we could get him.
Well, yeah. I mean, I saw Yahoo Sports did if Rand leaves, Chris Collins, Ben McCollum, Darian DeVries, 3 very easy, predictable. That's who'd be on my top 5 right now. If I did a top 5, I've done those before. Collins is somebody who would be an obvious candidate. If interested, he may not be interested.
The Iowa fans would have a list that's like Roy Williams, bring Mike Krzyzewski out of retirement.
I just don't understand the Chris Collins thing.
Well, he's done at Northwestern what nobody else has done. Plus, he almost went to Iowa. He's very familiar with the Chicago suburbs, and he's viewed as a pretty good coach. I mean, he's led Northwestern.
I was talking to a friend of mine last night. Have you heard anything about the kid that they just pulled for the hand surgery?
Freeman.
That he's hired an agent.
I have not heard that. There's tons of rumors that he's going to go to the. Yeah, when Fran was asked about him being back next year, Fran said he expects him to be back. I mean, there's rumors all over the place. So.
Yeah, and I was listening to part of the Indiana talking about Woodson last night, and they were talking down there that they've heard that Fran wants to. He doesn't want to come back after this year, so.
Yeah, I've heard both sides of that. I've heard that, and I've heard that he wants to keep coaching as long as they'll have him. So we'll see. This will play itself out here in the next couple months, and we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. I just didn't know if you've heard anything about the kid thinking about transferring. And if Fran were to leave, what would you say? How much of the roster do you think we would lose?
I couldn't begin to speculate on that. I don't know. Sorry, I wish I could, but I'd just be guessing.
No.
I don't know what these. And plus, you can't answer that until you know who they'd be hiring to replace him if he were to leave.
Yeah, I kind of think that it's time for him to step down. He just doesn't seem to be as. He just seems kind of disconnected. I think, and I think don't you think he probably wants to be able to watch his son that's going to be a Butler?
I mean, I don't know. You're asking me to think for him, and I just can't do that. I mean, sure, I would see. We would like to see his son play at Butler, but I don't know if that means he's going to decide to retire yet. This will play itself out here in the next couple of months. We'll know. And you are certainly entitled to your opinion. And I get that. I think from a wins-loss and performance record, he's still not to the point where you can force him out. But that's just me. And some people will disagree with me, but we'll see.
I think a lot of it, too, will depend on the fan. If they keep having troubles. I think at Purdue, there was probably maybe 4 or 5,000. Don't you think some of that will play into it, too?
Oh, without question.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
You
You're
bet.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for the
I was
call.
kind of watching CNN. They were talking to Tristan Wirfs down at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's running a Make-A-Wish Foundation for a kid.
Yeah.
He did like a Make-A-Wish granting or
Really
something.
cool.
And he's also widely regarded now as maybe the best left tackle in the
Highest
NFL.
paid, too. Highest paid, was it offensive lineman? Or?
Yes.
Hello.
How you guys doing today?
Good.
Hey, I wanted to give you some input about Suter's trip.
Okay.
Okay.
They didn't take a big bus. They took a mini bus.
Oh, okay.
So because it must have didn't have a good. I used to work at WinStar. And by the way, this is just so you know, this is Britt Hobo. But I used to work at WinStar, so I know a guy, a friend of mine, who is on that trip right now. They're actually on their way back. So they end up taking the mini bus up there, which seats about 17. There's not a bathroom on it, so I would assume you probably didn't do a whole lot of drinking on the bus.
So it's like one of those little
They
shuttles you
would've-
take like
right.
from the airport to like your car, or like you take from the hotel somewhere. Like one of those shuttles?
Pretty much. Yes,
Okay.
correct. One of those, Tommy. So
I've taken one of
it's
those to
pretty
Quad
small.
Cities
But,
before.
It's easy to drive, so the wind wouldn't have been a big factor. Now on those big buses, the big WinStar, yeah, the wind is there's days where I used to just literally hug the steering wheel because the wind would just kick you so bad. But the mini bus is like driving a big van. So
Okay.
Enjoy your visit with Bo. He is an amazing young man. He is the next Spencer Lee.
All right.
Thank you guys.
Sounds
Have a
good.
day.
All right.
A lot of weight to put on his shoulders.
I'm going to tweet it out right now. If it ends up somehow not calling, then I'll just have. I mean, it's happened before.
I have taken one of those
trying to
buses
say that
to a concert in the Quad Cities before. They're an interesting one to take on like a trip like that. About an hour away, it was New Duncan Imperials at Rascals in
Okay.
Moline. It's the Magic Bus had the Mini Magic, and it was like their shuttle bus that they used.
By the way, the university owes the athletics department owes the university $47.5 million of the $50 million they borrowed.
Jeez.
And the interest rate changes every 5 years. So they said they have when the next fiscal year starts, because of the increase in revenue, they're going to start paying it off faster.
Yeah, see that's going to make it harder to hire coaches.
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's a lot of money that they have to.
But they got
designate to
15
that.
years. I mean, they don't
Yeah.
have to pay it off in 5. They still got a long time left to pay on it.
But yeah, I know the Fran people are wanting to know what Fran's thinking, and would I be surprised if Fran stepped down after this year? No, not at all. And we'll just have to wait and see. Do I think he should be forced out? No, not at all. That's where I am, and I know that's where some people disagree with me. I just don't think that he has struggled enough to where you can force him out. And plus, I mean, if they don't make the tournament this year, that's back-to-back. Not making it. To me, you go into next year, assuming he comes back, having to make the NCAA tournament, or then you make a replacement. And I think Fran would agree with that.
Yeah.
But we're not there yet, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a tough business. There's a disconnect right now with the fans, and that's the concern: is can Fran get the fans back? You know, and I think the only way you get the fans back is by making a deep run in the tournament or doing something spectacular on the court. But right now, I don't think the team's built to do that, especially without Owen Freeman. So it's a tough situation.
How many people do you think are going to show up tomorrow?
I think Saturday's going to have a decent crowd. I'm not saying they're going to have 13 or 14, but I hope they have at least 10. Saturday at noon, no bad weather. They need a crowd.
Students are back.
I mean, yeah. I mean, good way to spend a couple hours on a Saturday. Hopefully they have at least 10, and I think they will. And they need it, man. Peyton Sanford, he deserves some help from the fans. Not telling fans how to spend their money, even though I am telling fans in this case how to spend your money. Go out and support these guys. They deserve your support. Peyton Sanford's been a great Hawkeye for 4 years, and they need your support. That can help them get over the hump against the Badgers. Beat the Badgers. We don't like the Badgers.
No, they won, 116 to, what was the score?
116 to 85.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was brutal. They made 21 threes. They were wide open on a lot of them. Iowa has to learn from that. They have to take some pride in their defense, and we'll see what happens.
I will go out on a limb and say tomorrow's game will be closer.
Oh, I would agree with that, too. Yeah, I would
Tommy,
agree.
wow.
But the
I know.
thing is- but we're saying that, and they had Owen Freeman in the first game.
That's true.
And they're not going to have him in this game. But I think that was sort of one of those perfect storms of just offensive outburst and defensive chaos, and it just happened.
It was the Ohio State 55-24 game.
Yeah, it just happened to unfold that way. Now, I did tweet that we're going to have him on. I gave the father the number. See, there's a lot that goes into it. Hopefully I gave him the number twice because I gave him the 1630 number to call into because I didn't want to ask for his. So this could
be
this
him
is
right
him.
there.
This could be him.
Find out. Hello.
Hey, how we doing?
Good. Is this Bo?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, we appreciate you calling in. We got Iowa wrestling commit Bo Bassett from Pennsylvania. And I'll tell you what, Bo, you really excited the Hawkeye fans with your commitment to Iowa. And I want to start right there. I mean, you had everybody in the country coming after you. What was it about Iowa that ultimately stood out in the end?
Yes, sir. So being from Pennsylvania, obviously wrestling is kind of life. And when you grow up in Pennsylvania, everybody wrestles. So for me, I love this sport. And from a young age, I was a big Hawkeye fan. It's been the dream for me since I was young. I think that's why it stood out. For some reason, I've always loved the Hawkeyes and always wanted to be one, even coming from Pennsylvania. So for me, it was a no-brainer, right? And this is where I truly believe that God led me here. And this is where I belong. I'm really excited to get to work. There's nothing like running out in Carver Hawkeye Arena. Can't wait for that.
Wow, that's well-spoken. And can I assume Spencer Lee's had some influence on you? Because I remember him kind of saying the same thing to us after he made his decision.
Yes, sir. So it's kind of crazy. I go to Young Guns Wrestling Club, and so when I was about 8 years old, I started that club. And Spencer Lee was a junior in high school, and he committed to the University of Iowa. And I was in the room when he did it. I was there. I trained with Spencer Lee until he left for college, and I went to the same club my whole life. So to say Spencer Lee had an impact would be an understatement.
Okay.
Spencer Lee's the man. Excited to train with him.
That's got to be some impact to get a Pennsylvania kid away from Penn State.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about it. How hard is it to turn down what is right now a current dynasty? I know Iowa's been a dynasty too, and they're still a really good program. But how hard was it to turn down your home state school?
Yeah, I mean, they was definitely in the conversation. I think again, just having that dream since I was a young kid was. I mean, there was nothing that was going to beat that. But it's really tough to go out of state when right now probably, the best team for the last couple of years who's been winning national titles is only an hour down the road. And that's definitely – it's something that I think came from just that belief in the program and what we have at Iowa and what we're going to build. And I have that belief, and there's no turning back once you have that dream.
How familiar are you with the brands as wrestlers? Have you seen old videos of them wrestling? Are you aware? I'm sure you're aware of what they accomplish, but are you aware of the style that they wrestled with? Because I used to cover them.
Oh yeah, absolutely, I am. Coach Strittmatter is my coach. So Jody Strittmatter obviously wrestled for Iowa, and now he runs the Young Guns Wrestling Club. So I'm more than aware of what the Hawkeye style is, right? What the brands did back in their day. I would like to say I wrestle similar to that style. Definitely tried to mold myself around that. So yeah, I'm more than aware of those guys. Nothing but respect. Can't wait to learn from them.
So from somebody who's never seen you wrestle before, how would you describe your style?
Oh, I would like to say that it's a style that's newer. That hopefully people love to watch, right? That's scoring a lot of points,
yes,
putting it on the line, going after the guy, taking him to deep waters. I'm not going to stand around. I can guarantee you there's going to be a lot of points. And I know that it's a long match. And the thing for me is I like to sprint and have a super high pace.
Well, from a spectator standpoint, that's what spectators want to see. I mean,
who was it, Gabe? Who was it earlier this week who said that he wants to wrestle, he wants to put on a show?
Yeah, I mean, part of it is entertainment, too. Would you
that.
Agree with that, Bo? I mean, I'd much rather see a high-scoring match than a 1-0 match.
Absolutely. I would rather wrestle a 15-14 match than 2-1 any day of the week. I think put on a show, score points. This is what we love to do, so enjoy it.
I should warn you, Tom Brands is not going to like that 14.
No, I totally understand. Hey, if we can win 15-0 every time, let's do it. Let's do it.
I saw a video of you on Flow Wrestling when you were like 7 or 8 years old. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
It was so cool. You seemed so focused back then, but you also seemed so down to earth. I mean, you're the #1 wrestler in your class, which is incredible. But you don't seem to take yourself too serious. I mean, where does that come from? You seem pretty humble.
Right. So we want to work absolutely as hard as possible, but the main thing for us is to be great people, right? And to be able to not just be remembered as a wrestler, but who you are as a person. And that's the biggest goal for me, to make a lasting impact on the wrestling side of things, but also a lasting impact just as a person of my faith, and to change the sport.
Well, Bo, I've had 2 people since I said we were going to have you on that texted me and said, as great as they say they know you, they know your family. They said, as great as you are as a wrestler, they say you're a better person. So that's got to make you proud.
No, yeah, that does for sure. And I take pride in that. And, if that's what I can leave someday is like my legend is, hey, this dude was an unbelievable wrestler, but he was a better person. That's my goal.
You know, you've been training. Your training regimen, it's well known. You get up every day, 5. Are there ever days where you just, I don't want to get up and do this? Do you ever have those human moments, or I mean, because you're human. How do you fight through that if you do?
Yeah, I think the enthusiasm that I bring every day, a smile on my face, wanting to work hard, knowing that nobody else is willing to do that is what gets me through it. There's definitely days that are harder than others, but I don't think there's ever a day where I don't want to do it, right? Because I know that this is going to lead me closer to my dreams, my goals, and I have that enthusiasm.
I know NIL is a big thing, and I know all the schools have NIL. And the way I look at it, especially with wrestlers, I say more power to you guys, man. It's about time that the money's going to you guys. And you guys don't have an NBA or a Major League Baseball. You got to get this while you can. And I know that was a factor, but I've seen you talk. It wasn't the only factor in your decision. And can you talk about that a little bit? Because there's so many wild rumors out there, and I just want you to put it all in perspective.
Yeah, so there's a ton of wild rumors. And for me, yeah, NIL is a piece of it, but that's not everything. We want to win. We want to, create a legacy. So for me, Iowa was the best choice because I'm going to be coached there. I'm going to get a lot of time. They're going to go all in on me, right? And I'm going to go all in on them. I believe in this program. NIL was part of every single other program as well, right? The offers were all super comparable. Every rumor that you see online, it is out of this world. It's crazy. But, hey, again, we need to keep creating opportunities for ourselves as wrestlers and making this sport bigger. I think it's great. The NIL is an awesome piece. But, again, it's not everything. It's something that we can keep working on, keep trying to make better, and someday get comparable to the other really big sports.
I mean, you've seen what Caitlin Clark has done with women's basketball at the collegiate level. Can you see that happening with wrestling, too? Not that wrestling's not popular now, but you sound like you want to take wrestling to another level as far as relevance and popularity.
Absolutely. And I don't think there's a better place to do that than the University of Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I think that if we can bring the style that I talked about a little bit earlier, scoring points and, going out there laying it all on the line rather than, giving respect and waiting around, I think that we can absolutely do that. I think it's going to take a little bit of a change in how people wrestle, and I'm going to try to advocate for that. I'm going to try to go out there and, like Gabe Arnold said, put on a show.
When we said we were going to have you on, we had somebody call say you were he's the next Spencer Lee. And I'd read that somewhere else, too. What's it like having that kind of pressure put on you before you even step onto the University of Iowa campus?
Spencer Lee's one of the greatest of all time to do it already, right? And Spencer Lee's been a big role model for me. So being in Pennsylvania, everybody knows him. So I've grown up hearing about Spencer Lee and watching him and learning from him. He's the man. And to be able to be compared to him is an honor, right? That's an honor. But now I'm going to be able to train with him. We wrestle a pretty similar style. We have a pretty similar skill set. Obviously, I'm not comparing myself to Spencer Lee. He is the GOAT. But I would love to learn from him, and I know he could make me so much better. So I'm excited to do that. To be able to be compared to someone like that is it means a lot to me. I know there's a lot of work to be put in.
I would love to see those training sessions, and if you can record them, you can put them on your social media. I did this research. You have 164,000 Instagram followers, 10,900 X followers, 8,710 subscribers on YouTube, and 93,000 followers on Facebook. Is that just because of your success athletically, or are you doing something else on social media?
Yeah, well, I really have put a lot of time into my social media, right? I want to make wrestling a bigger and better place. Again, Iowa's really going to help me do that, but I've done it on my own in high school throughout these couple of years, just trying to make this place better, right? And my family, my team has helped me a lot. I'm really fortunate, really blessed, but I've definitely done a lot of work on social media. Trying to inspire, trying to make this place better, put out the right image, and grow my faith and grow others' faith.
I got to ask you,
self-promotion. I like it.
When you just dismantle somebody on the mat, and just, do you ever feel sorry for any of your opponents, or is there just none of that mentality in wrestling? You can't do that.
I feel like you can't do that. I think for me, when I'm just a normal person, right, if I'm at school or just you see me in public, I'm definitely more of that person. I'm nice, but I think for me it's got to switch. When I go on the mat or when it's competition day, it's not the same person that you're going to see on a normal day. I feel like I have to switch over because I am too nice of a person to hurt someone. But, hey, when we're on the mat, this guy wants exactly what I want, and we're both chasing the same dreams.
No,
So it comes down to that.
That's well, and Spencer Lee was kind of like that too. I mean, we had when you see Spencer Lee away from the mat, you'd never imagine. But man, when you get on the mat, it's now the Brands they were like that on and off the mat. I mean, they were just always they were so fun to cover because they hated losing. Bo, obviously, this is a dumb question, but how much do you hate losing? And it happens so infrequently.
How would he know?
Yeah, I mean, seriously. I mean, how many times have you lost?
I've definitely learned a lot. I don't ever look at it as a loss. I look at it as a learning point.
Okay.
And I think every loss that I've had has changed me. I think there's been some defining moments in my career, and I think I really have a strong dislike, a strong hate for losing.
Okay.
And you can be really motivated just off that alone. But I have a lot of other motivators, but strong dislike for losing and a strong love for winning. So just got to keep working as hard as we can.
I guess I'd have to be in because I got the information that you were 110-0 in high school, so you must be losing at like tournaments and stuff like that, right? That's where the losses are coming from.
So my losses in the past, I think the last time I lost was 2022, something like that.
Wow.
But as far as I wrestled senior level last year, so that's where I took my loss. So I was going to qualify for Olympic trials.
Okay.
I wrestled in the same bracket as Ironman and Koladzic and Ashnault, just some names to mention. Dean Heil, national champs, national finalists. And, I'm really excited, actually. I mentioned Ironman. I'm excited to work with him.
I wanted to ask you before we wrap up, and again, I know you're busy. What is your family? How have they helped you get to this point? Because I've been texting back and forth with your father, and I can tell, just obviously you come from a really good family, deep-rooted.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so my family means everything to me. My dad has been my man since the beginning. He'll be sporting that Iowa black and gold. He's so excited. He's the man, though. He's been with me every single step of the way. We've traveled the world together. Going to world championships and Pan Ams and traveled the country. My family is everything. Both my brothers and my mom, they mean everything to me. So excited to have that family feel Iowa.
I know you got a long career in front of you, but I got to ask, do you see yourself maybe coaching and staying in wrestling once you're done competing? Because it sure seems like you should for the benefit of the sport.
Yes, sir. I think so. If I can do something I love for the rest of my life, I feel like then I'll never work a day. And so that's the ultimate goal for me, is to stay in the sport as long as I can. I feel like I have a lot of knowledge when I'm not wrestling, right, per se, or practicing or training.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still thinking about wrestling or trying to learn, try to get better in that way. So I definitely can see that, and that would be an awesome future for me.
And what weight do you think you best project at in college? And I want to ask, how much weight cutting do you have to do in high school? I mean, how big is nutrition in your diet?
Yeah, I don't do much weight cutting, especially this year. I wrestle 145, so I would project myself freshman year 49-pounder, maybe all 4 years, and I wrestle 65 kilos, which is about 143 for the freestyle circuit. So that's about where I would project myself, and I'm not a huge weight cutter. I just I feel better when I don't, and I don't see I don't know. I think that there's positives, negatives to both sides of it. But I feel like if I can feel good and that guy weighed in just 2 hours ago, then we'll be good.
Well, listen, Bo, I appreciate you coming on. This has been a lot of fun getting to know you a little bit. Can't wait to cover you when you get here. I know Iowa fans are thrilled. We do have one last question we're going to ask you. And remember, we're a radio station, and we play a lot of music here, so I'm going to let Tommy ask this to you. Good luck with everything, and again, thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
thank you.
We never explained where this question came from, so I'll just reset it. But there was a country music concert at Kinnick Stadium the athletic department did years ago, and then people speculated what's the next concert at Kinnick. So let's say you, Bo Bassett, are in charge of booking an artist to play at Kinnick Stadium and fill it. Who do you get?
Oh, man. Well, I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty sure you said it was a concert of country music last time, and I don't know if this will be the fan favorite, but I listen to everything. But if I had to pick, like, my favorite, it would probably be country.
Okay.
And we will go – oh, man, this is going to be tough. Well, I went to Eric Church was my last concert. We're going to Eric Church, Kinnick Stadium, baby.
All right.
Let's go black and gold.
All right.
Sounds
Great answer,
great.
Bo, man. Good answer, and this was a lot of fun. You're going to be a lot of fun to cover.
Yeah.
I can tell you that. Hey, good luck the rest of the way. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Bo.
Hey, thank you, guys. Excited. Wrestletown, USA. Let's get fired up.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, man. I was more excited asking that question after we were done interviewing him.
Hell, I may jog today instead of just walk after that interview.
And, of course, we can't do an interview without a mean comment in the chat room. You can't do that on television.
What a great kid.
Can we give some of this guy's energy to Paul?
Can you?
Wow.
Can you tell
Him and
though?
Paul, I'd listen to that show.
I mean, what a great! You can just tell. And I forgot to mention, he is a 4.0 student too.
Oh, is that
He
right?
Just has everything. You can tell everything together. Humble, but the fact that we asked him about losing, he doesn't know how to lose in high school.
No, 110-0.
And his last match was
22.
22.
Last time he lost.
And he was a sophomore in high school wrestling against guys like
in the Olympics. Yeah.
No, he's the real. I mean, well, needless to say, he's the real deal. But he's one of those guys. Barring injury, he's going to come here and really make an impact. I think on and off the mat.
Has a lot of social media followers. I saw that note.
That's
I had to ask him
amazing,
about that.
too. Yeah, so and he's just
but that's how you spread the sport.
And he's doing it more, I think. Yeah, he wants to push his brand, but he's trying to build this sport.
Yeah.
You know, and it was kind of some of the.
We hear that with Caitlin Clark, is building the sport.
Yeah, and some of the NIL rumors are just. I mean, NIL. He was going to get a lot of NIL no matter where he went. It's just the world we live in.
Right.
And I say, if Iowa was able to win the NIL battle with him, more power to him. Congratulations.
Absolutely. Hello.
Hello. I just have one statement to make. That was a fantastic interview.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye.
The subject helped a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had some of these kids who don't seem like they necessarily. I don't want to say they want to be here, but they're just kind of like, okay, I'm going to do this interview. I'll be polite. And we'll answer some questions.
I'm going to thank his father and say your son's as good an interviewer as he is a wrestler.
Yeah, he's great.
Well, we've had a really good streak of college athletes on this.
Yeah, I think my favorite part of the one with the gymnast the other day was when she said she had never been in cold before and wanted to come to Iowa to see what cold was like. And she found out.
And I said, welcome.
Yeah.
No, that was fun. They've all been fun.
Marissa, what was her name? I'm sorry, Marissa something.
Marissa Basella.
Basella, yeah.
Yeah, the athletes have been outstanding.
By the way, the gymnastics team will be at home on Sunday, 2 o'clock, but they'll be Extreme Arena. Because sometimes they have the gymnastics at Carver.
Right.
This one will be Extreme Arena in Coralville, 2 o'clock Sunday.
Yeah, and that's
against Rutgers.
Rutgers, yeah.
Yep. And the other thing we didn't mention, Hawkeye-wise this weekend, tennis hosts DePaul at noon Sunday.
Okay.
Because did we mention the track and field is on the road? They're on the road in Ames, and some of them are in New Mexico.
In Albuquerque, yeah.
Yeah, Albuquerque. I'll go look at the Breaking Bad house. Maybe see Saul Goodman while they're down there.
Apparently, the guys that sold, the people that own that house are selling it.
Yeah, I saw that.
They said they got tired of people throwing pizzas up on the roof.
That was one take.
I know.
I missed that show. And Better Call Saul.
Here's what I'm going to text to his dad right now.
Oh,
Thanks again. We really appreciated having Bo on the radio. Great kid, great wrestler, and great interview. How's that?
Yeah, 100%. Suter missed it.
Yep. Well, he can listen online, or
he may have been listening driving. Well, no, I guess they couldn't get it in the car, could they? How could you get it in the car?
Like the mini bus or whatever it is?
Well, if he's got it on his phone, he could listen.
I guess he could listen on his phone.
Yeah, the people around him wouldn't want to hear
But no,
it.
that kid, he kind of there's times where I've covered the Brands like at Media Day, and I've left there wanting to go work out because they're
they're so fired up.
They're just so fired up about everything, and that's
Yes.
kind of how this kid was. This kid was even a little more fired up than Spencer Lee.
Yeah.
Got a little bit more fiery personality. But
Well, he's younger.
I've done a little research though, and he does just seem like a really good kid.
Yeah. And no, Tom Brands would not accept a 15-14 win.
And you want me to go back? No, he wouldn't. But you heard the interview afterwards where they asked him if he was pleased with his wrestlers' fight. And
Yeah, he played it a couple times on Saturday.
Did you love his answer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Next question. Are you serious?
Are you serious?
I just think he could have been a lot worse. That was a stupid question.
Yeah.
And hopefully it was just a stupid question worded now. Hopefully the guy wasn't trying to get under his skin. I don't know. That wasn't an Iowa media guy. If you were trying to get under his skin, you did, but he didn't handle it the way I think you were waiting for maybe a bigger gotcha moment.
Yeah.
He just kind of dismissed it as stupid. It was not a fair question to ask. Of course he wasn't happy with his their whatever he said, but
Wasn't quite the UCLA coach when they were talking about having to fly.
Oh, yeah.
Iowa had to fly all
That
the way to
was
Los
so
Angeles.
great.
That was a great answer.
What did he say again?
Do I still have it in here somewhere?
Are you talking about the
UCLA men's basketball coach
Mick
when
Cronin?
Iowa played out there? Yeah.
Yeah.
And somebody asked about, Iowa, do you think that they had a disadvantage because they had to fly all the way out to Los Angeles? And he's like, we got to fly to Rutgers.
They do it all.
we gotta
Yeah.
fly-
They do it almost every other
Are
game.
you kidding me?
Is that a real question?
Yeah, what's the weather like in Iowa City?
Did he say, is that a real question?
Yes.
I think he did.
Yeah, he's a little feisty guy, too. And they've struggled at times, but I'll tell you what, they've righted the ship. UCLA's there. Did Maryland end up winning last night? Did they end up beating?
I don't know.
They were playing Ohio State, and it was getting close, and I forgot. If Maryland won, I mean, that would make them 8.
I was working on my KFMH show, so I wasn't really paying attention.
I guess I could have
to
looked
anything
it up on
else.
the phone. Somehow I got to. Well, no, the Iowa women's game started, so I started watching that, and I forgot to turn back to see if they won. They were killing Ohio State in the first half, but then Ohio State had cut the lead.
Men's basketball, right?
Yeah.
Ohio State 70, Maryland 70.
There you go.
Tie what?
I mean 73-70 Ohio State.
Ohio State came back and won.
They did.
Wow. Yeah. That's a big win. That means they're 6-6, and now Maryland is 7-5. That's a huge loss for Maryland. They had that game, but I give Ohio State credit for protecting the home court. It didn't look good for them.
Big Ten game tonight. Number 7 Purdue hosts USC at 6 o'clock on FS1.
Well, if Desmond Clodd's not playing, USC doesn't have a chance. They probably don't have much of a chance with him playing, but without him, it's going to be a tall order. They lost at Northwestern with him out.
By the way, we can drift the rest of the show if you guys want. I think we've
God,
covered everything.
It's already 10:20. This show's almost over.
I know.
And I didn't want to keep him on for more. 15 minutes is usually. I mean, I didn't. I
With that much energy, yeah.
I thought that was long enough. Plus, I'm assuming he took some. We worked the time out. I'm guessing he had time in his schedule from high school. He's probably right in the middle of high school.
Yeah.
Where he is a 4.0 student.
Leaving study hall to call us.
But it's amazing. Well, wouldn't you want to do that? Man, instead of going to, I got this radio station out in Iowa City. Was probably better than study hall. That's our motto. We're better than study hall.
Actually, there'd be 11:20. It might have been his lunch.
Well, it could have been his lunch. We're better than lunch. How's that? But see, he's good enough and built. I remember covering some of those wrestlers in high school and at Iowa. They just were constantly cutting weight and just starving themselves. This kid's so good and built in a way to where he doesn't have to.
That's a huge advantage.
That's a huge advantage. You know, but I remember some of those guys, they'd have to weigh in with their fingers crossed that they would make weight, and they hadn't eaten. And I remember thinking, how did these guys do it? The amount of discipline that these guys, I was always amazed at.
This can't be good on your body either.
But
fast for 5 days.
I don't think your kidneys like that.
No.
But when you're pursuing a sport like that, you do what you can, and you got that window of opportunity and what have you. And the good thing is, it can't be good, but they do enough else that's good for your body to it probably balances. Think about all the shape they're in and how strong their hearts are and whatever. But no, weight cutting, I mean, he's in a unique situation. And I think he'll start at 49. He could grow to 50. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But no, that was fun.
That was a good, fun interview.
Yeah.
And we went from Paul to Bo.
Not immediately. I don't think we would have taken that.
There was
gone right from Paul to that.
No, that would have been.
Or vice versa.
That would have been.
Paul had called right after that.
Our heads would have exploded.
Hey, guys. Is that good?
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
That's too loud. That's too loud.
Pat.
Hey, guys. Hey, Pat.
Hey, guys.
Well, it's good to hear from him at least.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure Captain probably... A little spark in Captain, maybe lessen the pain a little bit.
Well, he's on the painkillers. He's probably okay with it.
Yeah.
He's going Keith Richards on us.
Yeah.
I saw him yesterday and brought him and Jan sandwiches for lunch and did a couple of things. And he goes, I'm going to finish this sandwich. I'm going to take a pill, and I'm going to go to sleep.
You watch. He's going to come back, and he's going to start playing Inagata La Vida, Pink Floyd, all the
sheep. You come in here, sheep's coming.
Yeah, I mean, sheep. He's just wigging out on sheep.
Careful with that axe, Eugene.
Yep. Fletcher Memorial Home. He's crying in there listening to Fletcher Memorial. Give me another painkiller.
Do you like that album, The Final Cut?
No. Oh, yes. I not all of it. I love Two Sunsets in the East.
Mm-hmm.
The saxophone solo at the end of that is just lights out. And I like Not Now, John.
Yeah.
I love that. But there's some that are a little bit too Roger Waters just whining and yelling, And
I know, shocking.
But no, two of my favorite Pink Floyd songs are on that album.
Oh, good. Okay. Because I do like that album a lot.
Yeah. No, and I think it's underrated.
Yeah.
I think it's very underrated. But Two Sunsets, and I love that song.
I can't remember if I told this story before, but a few years ago, it was like maybe 10 or 15 now, there was a local band, and might have been not just a local band, but like local musicians together, and they performed a whole concert at Gabe's as Pink Floyd from the tour, or whatever the tour was, for Pipers at the Gates of Dawn, real early, early psychedelic
See,
Pink
that's
Floyd.
Pink Floyd. That's Sid Barrett.
They were in costume and everything. And
Saucer Full of Secrets. That's not my favorite Pink Floyd stuff.
No, and it is.
When they switched over to Dark Side, when David Gilmour came in, that's when Pink Floyd.
Doc Ellis showed up and said it was a great show.
I like See Emily Play.
Yeah.
Some of but most of the early stuff with Barrett.
Stuff on metal, I kind of like.
Oh, I love metal. I mean,
one of these days, I played that the other day on KFMH.
Isn't that the
but David Gilmour, I believe, was in metal. I believe,
Yes.
but no, metal's got Fearless.
Yeah.
And but no, it's got some of my favorite songs too. But
Have you heard the new Gilmour album? We're
I
playing it
have.
on KF.
It's very good.
Yeah.
But no, they went through a huge transformation after Barrett left. And
Sure.
Because if you listen to 67, 68 Pink Floyd, Saucer Full of Secrets and all that stuff, you wouldn't recognize Dark Side of the Moon.
No,
and
no,
Animals
it's different. You're right.
The Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here, Animals, that trilogy right there, that's what
What was the song they played on Bandstand?
Apples and Oranges?
Apples and Oranges.
Yeah.
The Pink Floyd.
And to a lesser extent, the Moody Blues like that. They were like a Dave Clark 5 or a Yardbirds kind of pop sounding band, and then they switched to Days of Future Past, you know, within 2 years. So.
Yeah, Moody Blues to me was always sort of a more commercial Pink Floyd.
Oh, absolutely.
Kind of a Pink Floyd sound to it. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, that Apples and Oranges thing, that was painful. I mean, like I said, some of Pink Floyd's
Those
music
kids
really,
were not dancing to it.
the Pink Floyd.
I gotta love YouTube for that kind of stuff. You can just go down a rabbit hole and watch stuff like that all afternoon.
And we did predict that he would pick a country music star, didn't we?
We did.
Because it's big with a lot of the wrestlers. I don't know if I would have picked the one. I think I would have said like a
Eric Church.
Yeah, but I'd heard of that.
I've heard of him.
I've heard of him. Yeah.
Well, in Pennsylvania, being a kind of a blue collar town,
Sure.
very much into country music.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that was fun, and like I said, his parents should be really proud, of course, for what he's done on the map. But like I said, this kid is really impressive off it, and what you're talking about, he's good at networking.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to do if you're going to try to build a sport like this.
Self-promotion, exactly.
You need to self-promote.
Get on the YouTube. I would like to know exactly what he is doing. Is he doing like little shows? Is he just putting up his highlights?
He does a lot of highlights. He does a lot of training.
Okay.
Routine stuff. He loves to show people how he trains because he wants other people to learn how he's doing it. Now, it can help other people, but the one thing is he's special. I mean, a lot of kids could do what Bo Bassett does every day and not be the number one.
He's got the charisma to do an internet
show.
show.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He's got not only the talent, but he's got a really good. This was easy for him.
Yeah.
And it was easy for us because
he's in high school and he crushed it.
But I mean, it was easy for me and you and us to interview him because it was easy for him.
Yeah.
This was not the Minnesota baseball coach.
No.
or Colin Hay.
Colin Hay. Yeah, I was part of that one.
Yeah. Oh, you were part of that.
I was on that. I was on the
So
morning
was
show
he
with
as
me and
mean as
Steve.
they make him out?
Yes. First, he didn't answer the phone, and Steve just kept calling him until he picked up.
See, I would like to have been on that because I would have said, "Dude, you're men at work."
Yeah.
I don't
he
even
did
like-
later sign my gold record though that I had from KRNA.
Well, that was nice. Though.
He signed it.
But he would have unleashed on me if I would have said, "You're men at work. Men at work sucks." Wouldn't he have unleashed on me?
Probably.
He would have been like, "Who are you? You're working at some no-name radio station.
I don't have to take this.
I don't have to take this from you." That would have been good radio.
It would have been awesome.
Me going off on Colin Hay and him stomping on me.
And Tommy and I have done.
That would have been overkill.
And I'd be honest, because I'm not a huge Men at Work. I'm not a Men at Work fan. Their music never.
I loved them as a kid for some reason.
Well, you
when
were
they
a
were
kid.
Current.
Yeah, you were like 10.
Well, they
You
didn't do
know
songs
better.
about like love and girls. It was all like, here's an Australian guy or.
Did your dad ever feed you a Vegemite sandwich?
Never. Although
Never?
I do see it occasionally at Hy-Vee.
I do too.
I hear it's awful.
Yeah, I don't think I want
like
it.
I've seen somebody get one at you'll see somebody at Subway. Okay, they'll order every vegetable that's on there, and get some sauce and then I guess if you put enough on it, you're eating something. But I don't know. This is not me because I can't. I'm not a big cucumber or olives fan.
No, Vegemite's like a spread, is it not?
It's like a spread, but it's like a
Oh
vegetable
no, I know,
spread,
but I'm
isn't
talking
it?
about like a vegetable. It makes me think of I mean, like somebody just the other day ordered a veggie sandwich right in front of me at Subway, and they had them put everything in it.
I've done that before.
And then a bunch of sauce to where you ended up eating something that's worse for you. They put enough sauce on the thing to where it's probably you would have been better off getting a turkey
Yeah,
sandwich.
I just do the when I did order the vegetables, just oil and vinegar.
Okay, I got to get some type of meat on a sandwich, unless I'm doing grilled cheese. I can do grilled cheese.
Yeah, okay.
Or tuna, I guess tuna.
Yeah, but that's a meat of
I'm
sort.
still wrapping my head around the idea of Bo Bassett doing an interview with Paul.
He's going to be fun to cover.
He will.
He's
We
going to
get
be
him
a
on
great.
more often when he
He's
gets
going to
here.
be a great spokesperson for the.
he'll be
And it is easy to get kind of lost in Penn State's dominance. Still, Iowa still has a lot to offer as a wrestling program.
Some coaches don't let freshmen do interviews. Is Tom Brands on that?
No,
Anybody? Okay, good.
That's over. Kirk did that for a while, but they've even gotten.
Okay.
You can't go that way with social media anymore.
That's true.
I mean, you're going to have these kids. So many of them have been on social media in their high school, and then all of a sudden you're going to keep them away for a year. I think Kirk finally realized it's not accomplishing anything.
God, that Twitter ban feels like it was forever ago.
Yeah. I understood when he did it at time, but it's not. And people saying Kirk doesn't evolve. Well, there's an example of Kirk evolving. So
we got some football talk in today.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, spring ball's about a little over a month away from starting. I mean, got softball today, baseball media day next Tuesday. So yeah, we'll have some.
South Florida next weekend. Three.
Paul did not sound real committed to either team.
No, he really didn't.
Really didn't, and I'm going to use that against him.
Kind of surprised me.
Yeah, he's I'm not saying he's a hater, but he's apathetic.
Yeah,
and he's just apathetic. I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
You said you're surprised. I'm disappointed.
Okay, well, fair enough.
I'm deeply disappointed in Paul, and I bet Captain is at home too.
He could be.
I think he's disappointed.
Yeah, he could be.
Paul, you got to do better. Those softball players need your help.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out how much help they need when we wrap it up tomorrow. We have 2 games to talk about.
Yeah, I'll
tomorrow.
have 2 games to talk
today
about
it's
tomorrow
Kennesaw
morning
and
on the news.
Is it Tennessee? Is Marshall the second game today?
I think Tennessee's today, Marshall's tomorrow.
Yeah, Tennessee ain't going to be easy.
Tennessee's ranked. Well, here, I've got a story here.
Well, Tennessee's always a softball power.
Let me find it. I have my old newscast here in my recycle bin.
And hope Renee Gillespie is doing well. We didn't get much. Obviously, it's not our business, but I hope her. I hope her health stuff is going well for her. That's tough, man. I feel for her. For the team. That's a tough thing to have to deal with.
All right, let's see. Today, Kennesaw's at 3, and then number 6 Tennessee tonight.
Yeah,
that'll be the 6 o'clock game tonight. Marshall tomorrow, and then number 13 Texas Tech. And then number 15, Missouri. So 3 of the 5 teams are ranked.
Top 15, yeah.
And one's a top 10 team.
We'll learn a little bit about them.
And people can actually stream those games for free through an app called Game Changer, which I've never heard of.
Let's take this last
free.
call. I'm guessing it's going to help us even finish on a stronger note.
Stream those games for free.
Hello.
Hey, just to let you know, Nebraska and that Oklahoma transfer pitcher Jordy Ball, they beat Tennessee yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So they're already playing. Okay.
Yep. Bye.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.
There, we'll end on some.
Yes.
There's hope.
That's the informer. We have the corrector. That's the informer.
There was hope with that message.
There was.
Thanks again to Bo Bassett for being our guest. Thank you to Mr. Bassett for making this happen. I really appreciate it.
That was great.
That was a lot of fun.
I enjoyed that.
Thanks
hopefully
for the
our
cameo.
listeners enjoyed it.
Thanks for the cameo by Paul.
Yeah, thanks, Paul.
All right, Hawkfanatic, you can check it out anytime. It's free.
From the Harty and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation,